Hey, I'm Ted Vieira. In a recent episode of my podcast, Photography Matters, I talked about a trip I had just taken to Portland, Oregon. This was just a short trip, 3 or 4 days. I wanted to go up and spend some time with family. And yeah, beautiful city. I just wanted to spend some time there. I lived in Portland from 1982 to 1997. And man, as much as it rains there, I can eat, and it rains a lot. I can easily say that Portland is my favorite city I've ever lived in. Great place, very cool people, just a cool vibe, and beautiful. Wow. But before I had gone on my trip, I was kind of going back and forth thinking, man, should I just keep it simple and just shoot digital the whole time I'm there? Keep it simple, man. Shoot digital, it'll be fine. I wouldn't have to hassle with getting filmed through airports, that kind of stuff. But ultimately, yeah, I decided I went ahead and I took digital and film. I took a digital camera, but 95% of the time I shot with my Leica M6, 35 millimeter lens, and Fujifilm macros. Beautiful stuff. So what I want to do with this video is kind of split it up into two sections. The first part, I'll just kind of share my experience flying with film and give you some tips and information that if you do have a trip coming up, maybe this can kind of ease your mind and kind of help you get through the process of taking film with you. The second part of the video, yeah, man, I just want to share some of the photos I took while I was in Portland and just kind of talk to you about why I am so glad that I took film. Okay. Okay. First of all, I just want to get it out of the way. I was traveling in the US and it was even a short flight. And I do know our policies on traveling with film here. Um, we do have the right to have our film hand checked if we want to. If you're traveling outside the US internationally, yeah, man, you just should probably check with each of the countries that you'll be passing through and find out what their policies are on traveling with film, just to minimize any surprises and keep it as stress free as possible. So check with their policies. Never check your film with your checked luggage. All right, that's the luggage that you give to the airport people, they give to the baggage handlers. Those guys throw it on the plane and you don't see it again until you've reached your destination. Man, never check it with the checked luggage because that luggage goes through machines that are so much stronger. The way they scan that luggage, so much stronger than the scanners that will scan your carry-on luggage. So never, never, never check your film with your checked luggage. Always take it with you on the plane as carry-on. That's rule number one, and really the most important rule of traveling with film. So the first thing you're going to want to do before you even leave the house, before you go to the airport, is get all the film that you're going to take with you and put it in this clear Ziploc bag. That way, when you hand this bag to the security person, they can just easily see you're handing them a bag of film. That works out great. Now, I leave my film in the boxes. I know some people take it out. It really doesn't matter, but I like to make my film look like it's completely untampered with, right? It's just like as if I just came from the store after buying this film. Like I said, it's not that big a deal because when I come back, obviously I'm going to have some open boxes and just canisters of film because I've been taking some shots while I was on my trip. So it's not that big a deal, but I just take every opportunity I can to make the situation a little bit cooler. I will take that opportunity when I can. So what I'll do is I'll go up to the checkpoint. I'll put my carry-on bag in the little tray there. I'll put my shoes in the tray. And then the first TSA, the first security person I see, I will say, hey man, can you hand check this film for me? And when you talk to these people, man, be on your best behavior. Be as polite as you can. Now, these people, these security staff, they work with people all day who are traveling. And traveling, man, that can be stressful. For me, I love it. And it's always fun. But yeah, it's not that way for everybody. And so they have to deal with a lot of people who probably aren't being their best that day. So the cooler you can be with these security people, man, the better situation it is for everybody. So be as polite as you can and just say, hey, man, can you hand check this film for me? My experience was, yeah, I put my carry on and my shoes in the little trays there. They went through and were scanning. First TSA person, I said, hey, man, can you hand check this film for me? And I didn't get any resistance at all. The person just took my bag of film, went over to a station, and I went through the scanner, went over to the station, and they had just opened like a few boxes, kind of swabbed a few of the rolls of film just to make sure that there was no hazardous material there. They put all the film back in the bag and handed it to me. I was done. It was so easy, so simple. I flew to Portland, had a great trip, and on the way back, the security person at Portland International Airport, um, man, he opens every box, that was still unopened, and he's swabbing the film. And he asked me, man, why do you shoot film? And so I get into this conversation with him, telling him how much I love the process, how much I love film, and I love the look. And we had a good conversation. It was fun. It was just, kind of added to the whole experience. But again, he just, everything was great. He handed me the film back. I got on the plane and came home. So it can be that simple. Now, they've got this thing where a lot of times they will say, well, if it's under 800 ISO, you should be fine, right? But like I said, I've heard those horror stories where, uh, yeah, people with 100 speed film, it goes through the scanner and it gets fogged. The film gets ruined and stuff. So you never know, because the power of the machines can vary from airport to airport. You never know. So if they do say that, um, yeah, your film's all under 800 speed, you should be fine. You know what I do is I throw I put through a roll of that T-Max 3200. I threw that in the bag so that just in case, if they did give me any pushback, I could say, hey man, I've got a roll of 3200 in there. Can you just please scan or hand check the film for me? But it was cool. Nobody even questioned me. It just, the film got hand checked and I had a great time and I was able to shoot film on my vacation. Very cool. There's this rare chance that maybe you're going to be in a situation where your film's going to have to be scanned. Now, in the US, like I said, it is our right, and we can ask to have our film hand checked. But if you're ever in a situation that, man, for whatever reason, they say they're going to have to scan your film, just don't freak out. Don't freak out too much. Okay. Because, I'm telling you about these stories that I've heard from people and having their horror stories of their film being fogged, going through the scanner. I've heard equal amounts of stories from people who say, yeah, man, their film went through like 5, 8, 10 checkpoints during their trip and everything came out beautiful. It didn't affect their photos at all. So there's a good chance that even if your film does go through a scanner, it's going to be fine. It's probably going to be fine. but but like I said, here in the US, yeah, man, it is your right and have your film hand checked. But if it can't be hand checked, just relax a little bit. It probably is going to be okay. All right. Don't freak out. Don't cause a scene at the airport. I don't think that ever works out good for anybody. So don't freak out. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try and keep this part short because the video is already getting to be a little bit longer than I had planned on. So here are some of the shots that I got while I was in Portland. So this is my room. This is where I stayed. But what I love about this photo is the window light. So much softer than what I'm used to experiencing in Vegas. I just take walks around my old neighborhood, and it was cool to see what things were like now and that, things really hadn't changed that much. But man, Portland is just one of the coolest cities out there. So charming, so beautiful, just such a great vibe. But man, the architecture. This city really celebrates its older architecture. It's what really makes up most of the city. In Vegas, that's not the case, man. It gets too old and it's just going to go away. I would never see anything like this in Vegas. Man, the bridges. If you want some cool photos, there are so many bridges over the Willamette River. Just a beautiful scene, beautiful structure, so industrial. Just gorgeous stuff. I love the bridges in Portland. But this is what made me so glad that I shot film. I love the way this looks. And when I saw these photos, I saw the scans come in, I was so grateful that I decided to take film with me. This is another photographer. Basically, we were both just downtown shooting one night and ran into each other. Saw that we were pretty much shooting very similar kits and just started talking about photography. But yeah, cool guy, Paul Ganatsky. Man, I hope I'm somewhere in the ballpark with that pronunciation. But cool guy and good photographer. Okay. So those are some of the shots that I got for my trip to Portland. And man, I got to tell you, I've been going through Portland withdrawals ever since I came back. Such a beautiful city. I really do feel like I think I said this in the podcast, but I could shoot in Portland for the rest of my life and never run out of shots. So photogenic, so many subjects, endless. It's like somebody just took this beautiful city and laid it down softly in this just lush forest with this beautiful river running right through the middle of it. Okay, man. And those are my tips on how to help yourself get through airports with film. If you're really worried about it, other things you could do is, buy the film once you get to your location, your destination. Buy the film when you get there. Then just mail it back home to yourself before you leave. Before you go back home, put it in the mail to yourself. Or you could even have it developed while you're there. But I had no issues at all. The security couldn't have been more polite. It was a very enjoyable experience. I know that's not the case for everybody in every situation, but it's a lot easier than I expected it to be. So I hope this helps, and I hope you enjoyed the photos. I really am. I can't tell you that if you think you want to travel and you think you want to shoot film, do it, man. Take the film. I can't tell you how grateful I am that I decided to shoot film on this trip. To capture those buildings, those bridges, that nature. Yeah, great memories, and it's on film, so it's got that look that I love. Okay, so if you're gonna travel, take your film. Don't be worried about it. Okay. Hey, I hope this helps. I'm Ted Vieira, and if you have any questions, I'll answer anything I can, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.